You do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no. Stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
And good morning. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I would be Glenn Clark. Griffin and intern Jake are over there, and we have much to do on a Thursday edition of the program. In a few minutes, our friend Jim Bowden is going to join us, former MLB GM. We'll be chatting with him about what the Orioles do at the deadline and how complicated that is by the fact that they've won 5 in a row and 7 out of 10. Have I done the math? I think I was doing the math that it was 7 out of 9. Is it actually 7 out of 10? Is it 8 out of what is the math?
I think it's 8 out of 10.
But I don't need I think.
It is 8 out of 10.
All right, but you're saying that very
Mr. Baseball over here.
I'm saying that very confident.
it's 8
I
out of
know
10.
it's 5 in a row. Before that, it was. I feel like everybody's been
2 to St. Louis.
right.
Then
They had won the 3 straight before that. I thought it was 8 out of 10.
It is
I don't
8
know
out of
why
10,
everybody
yeah.
was saying 8 out of 11 over the weekend. 8 out of 10 is the math. So how does that
Is
change
that good?
things?
Yeah.
What does that mean for the deadline? Do they do something different? I don't know. We'll ask Jim Bowden what he thinks, of course, of SiriusXM and CBS and The Athletic and just about everywhere. Later on in the program, what a night for Enrique Bradfield last night. Perhaps became aware that he was going to be on the show and said, I better put on a show. I better do something.
Need something to talk about.
Extra inning, a home run for the Baysox. Shame it was on the road, so it wasn't a walk-off, right? But still very cool. Enrique Bradfield, former Orioles first-round pick, is going to join us. We will catch up with him later on this morning. And stuff and things on a Thursday edition of the program. Today's show brought to you by Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills. You guys know I have been using Game Day Men's Health to try to feel more like myself. It's not specific for me, right? It's not that I need to take off the belly fat that I've been struggling with or that I'm dealing with erectile dysfunction or anything. It's just like I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like myself. And so Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills gave me a complimentary testosterone test, said, hey, it ain't your testosterone. You are not low T. But that doesn't change my reality. It's not like, oh, well, now I feel great. Thank you. I'm just going to go run a marathon now and maybe do some parkour. Can I tell you that I actually did parkour at one point in college? I don't know if that's an admission that I've ever made before.
Is there a video?
This has to be your Arizona days? Or
No, I wasn't in college in Arizona. I was in college here. What are you talking about?
I didn't hear you say college days.
I said college. At one point, we made like you know how like Jackass started as like a skateboarding thing? We made some videos where we were trying to like make a parkour version of Jackass.
So this is like the Family Guy bit, but this was you were Peter Griffin, and like you were like,
I don't remember.
This is roof shopping cart, jump off.
Well, yeah, he was just basically doing Jackass, right? Like we were doing stuff. Yeah, I mean, I guess we were basically doing Jackass. We would go to various schools and like try to find the coolest thing.
The jungle gym. You'd be playing on the playground.
The jungle gym.
While
Exactly.
you were 20
we would
years
try
old.
to find like the coolest like. Here's like a fountain up here, and then there's a set of stairs, and we could like jump from the fountain to here to the set of stairs to try to make the videos look cooler.
I mean, it sounds cool, yeah.
We were also simultaneously making fun of it. It's a weird thing where we didn't realize like.
Were you good at it?
I don't know if we were good at it because I don't know how to be good at. No, if it like
Kids
not
still do it.
Do they still do it?
Yeah, I was at because my sister's at College Park, and whenever the last time I went down to visit her, like we were just walking around campus, and there was this kid, like his buddy was filming, and he was like trying to scale this like 2-story, like this little balcony. I forget what building it was.
How about it?
But yeah, and he like did it.
I
was like,
didn't.
damn,
I
that was
didn't.
pretty
I
sick.
didn't know that was still a thing. I
Yeah.
had no idea. Anyway, the point of this, and it was not about my parkour. The point of this, of course, is about Game Day Men's Health. If you want to get back to your parkour, if that was something you enjoyed doing, then just give them a little ring ding ding, or maybe visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. 443-264-4454. As I've said, the two things that I have noticed when I played tennis the other night and I went down to crouch, be at the net when I was playing doubles, it was not. When I was trying to catch so that my sons could practice pitching the other day, it wasn't hell thinking about crouching down. And I just wake up in the morning and I feel like I can get on a little bit quicker. Those are two things that I've already noticed about the improvement from taking peptide therapy. So give them a call, 443-264-4454, Game Day Men's Health in Owings Mills. Coming up in a few minutes, I mentioned Jim Bowden. All right, I did that part. I did the part where I said what's coming up on the program. Why am I doing that again?
Well, it's a
You're
good show.
excited.
Yeah.
I guess. All right, Orioles win. Hey, Orioles win. And a big night for the most maligned players on the baseball team. As we talked about, the two biggest issues. Yes, Charlie Morton sucked for a while this season, but Charlie Morton's here for a good time, not for a long time. Charlie Morton does not impact the long-term outlook for the Baltimore Orioles. Obviously, he's also turned things around a bit. The two Orioles that were most vital, and maybe we can have a Gunnar conversation soon. Gunnar hasn't been as bad as the others, but certainly has not been Gunnar Henderson. But the two guys who have been awful, I mean just awful this season, that are definitively part of the conversation and part of the big picture outlook for the Baltimore Orioles, of course, are Adley Rutschman and Heston Kjerstad. And that's 1 and 2 this season. If you said, hey, what have been the biggest issues for the Orioles, the biggest problems player-wise? 1, Adley Rutschman, 2, Heston Kjerstad. Bar none to me. Now, we've also not seen much of some other guys. Jordan Westburg, Colton Cowser. But those two guys are a part of this thing. And maybe Heston Kjerstad was going to be a part of this thing as much as his trade value allowed him to be a part of this thing and to have the potential to help you acquire someone else. But he has to be a valuable trade chip in order to do that. I don't want to overreact to one really good night for those two guys. And let's be honest, let's qualify really good night. You might be surprised that when I put it up on the board, I'm putting up Adley Rutschman's face and I'm not putting up Heston Kjerstad's face. Well, that's because we saw what happened on the double that led to the Mariners' first run. I believe I saw that particular play had an expected batting average of
I believe it was less than like 100, right? It was,
.010.
okay, that sounds like a fake number. Is that because it was like on the foul line? Like it like
Yeah, I guess you could add both. It could have been caught or it could have been foul. Yeah. Like it somehow ended up being both. Let's be honest, that's a play he should make.
Probably.
It's a play he should make. But we've gotten accustomed to this with Heston Kjerstad. So even when I'm going to give him his flowers, and I will, I'm still not all of a sudden being like, oh, man. All right, Heston Kjerstad's fixed. Heston Kjerstad before Sunday, however, had not had a triple yet in his career. Now he's got a pair. Triple machine, Heston Kjerstad. Look, it was a huge hit. Orioles trailing late, get a couple runners on with 2 outs. Eek. You're kind of expecting it to go south. And Heston Kjerstad delivered in a huge, huge moment, and you love that. But no, man of the match is Adley Rutschman. He obviously had the home run. Of course, we know Adley Rutschman loves playing in the Pacific Northwest, his home area. And then you add on to that, of course, the play at the plate and that stare that Adley Rutschman gave after the call was originally. It's really funny because He actually did. He made a hell of a play. The ball was there in plenty of time, but the throw was not into the runner. He had to make the catch and get down and make the tag, and he did, and we were all as confident as he was when we saw it in live time that he had made the tag, and then they started showing the replays, and I was kind of like Jim Palmer where I said, well, maybe that foot does stick in there a little bit quicker. Maybe I can't see. And then Ben Wagner made the point. The overhead replay, 1,000%. Made it definitive that they had made the play and they had gotten the out. And so I appreciate the fact that for once, Major League Baseball didn't just say, hell, it's close, we can't overturn it. That they actually saw, we got this wrong, even though 3 other angles aren't confident. We found an angle, it's definitive, this was an out. And I appreciate the fact they got it right. Adley Rutschman's man of the match for that. Now, it was his only hit. Like, I don't want to overreact to it. I'm okay.
420 feet.
Great. I hope more do. I am okay with living in this moment and being excited about it and not projecting. It's fun to win. They're still playing games. They're not out of it. It's fun to win. We've been talking, and we'll ask Jim Bowden in a minute about what the math is for when it starts to matter, and we've thrown around numbers like maybe if they're 5 games out of a wild card spot, maybe if they're only 8 today. Like they're in that territory where it wouldn't even take an emphatic push to get to that spot. Those are good things. And I get it. On the internet, nothing matters. We can say whatever we want. We can say the Orioles are going to win every game they play for the rest of the year. There's no so what? But as you know, I am a more pragmatic type. I am enjoying this right now. I'm enjoying an Orioles team that's still showing fight, that's still competing. We can absolutely praise the pitching, which has wildly been better. Not just the starters, but the bullpen the last couple nights has been excellent. We qualify that with, but we do know that the White Sox and Mariners are 2 particularly bad offensive teams. Which doesn't mean you dismiss what's going on right now. And as I've pointed out before, the results could still be bad. And they're not. And we like that. That's good. But all of it matters in how we judge this. Do we suddenly say the Orioles staff is excellent? I do not. They are performing right now. And if it continues, then we adjust. It's not me raining on the parade. It's just me taking a pragmatic approach to it. This is fun. I'm glad they're winning. I'm glad they're performing. Those are good things. Will it continue? I'd still say I think they'll be better than the awful version of themselves that we saw. But how could they not be? They were a sub-400 team. My God. Am I of the belief that they are going to turn things around to be a playoff team? No, I'm not there.
What if this pitching is like...
This pitching has to do it against teams that aren't the White Sox and Mariners. That's what I just said. Like, I'm glad they're doing it. That's a good thing. We don't dismiss it or pretend like it's not happening because of the teams they're doing it against. But we also acknowledge the context. Everybody, our own biases play. If you say, well, it's just the White Sox and Mariners. Well, they can only play the teams that are on their schedule. I know that. And in judging what they're doing, it's objectively good. In me considering it's predictive, no. Did he just say, what up?
Yeah, that's what I told him to say.
I really love that. He's calling a guest and
that's
saying,
what you're supposed to say.
What up? What?
You did.
That's so objectively funny. I can't even put into words. So.
Can I use that from now on? Or?
Yeah, right. I would really like it if that's just our thing now moving forward. It's okay, Jake. It's okay.
I think he answered the phone pretty chill. So
I
I
like. Joining us now here on GCR. He, of course, you see him on CBS. You hear him on SiriusXM. You read him in The Athletic. He's been a longtime friend of ours, former MLB GM. Jim Bowden is back with us this morning on the program. Jim, it's Glenn in Baltimore. Thank you for taking the time for us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Okay, so I have to ask. We let our intern screen the phones this week. Did he really call you and say, "What up, Jim"? Did he really do that?
No, he didn't really do
All
that.
right.
But I thought it would be cool if he did do
All
that.
right, fair enough. Jim, obviously, when I started seeing, because you've been talking about the Orioles for a little while now, I guess I have to start by asking, when does what they're doing right now start to matter in this conversation? Because I don't think it's yet, right? Like, it doesn't mean I'm very much enjoying the fact that the Orioles are actually winning some baseball games. It's neat, but I still don't think this pitching is quite as good as it's looked against the White Sox and Mariners, who we know are terrible offenses. When do we maybe recalibrate? If they're back within 4 games of a playoff spot, when do we recalibrate what it is that this team might consider moving towards the end of July?
Yeah, so you're asking my opinion. So I'm
Yes.
not saying my opinion is right. This Baltimore team is not going to the playoffs. This pitching staff is not good enough to take this team to the playoffs. So that being said, I look at a team that can very easily, with some really shrewd trades at the deadline and some getting your feet wet in free agency, can turn around next year and be a world champion caliber team.
Mm-hmm.
The nucleus there, the core is there. But I think you have to take advantage of assets that you have, and you have to take advantage of the present market. You know, this is going to be a seller's market because the bad teams in baseball have very little to trade. Look at the Rockies, look at the White Sox, look at the Pirates, who aren't going to trade Paul Skeens, and you look at the teams that are definite sellers and there's not a lot of talent. And yet you look at the Orioles and you could deal, if you wanted to, Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, Ryan Mountcastle, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, Sagano. I mean, there is a group that you could be the headliner, and you could turn around and get 12, 14 pieces, then go into the offseason, which is going to have a lot of free agent starting pitching, go get 2 of those, and all of a sudden you could be the team to beat in 2026. So to fall in love with a winning streak here or there, to try to dream and think that you're getting there this year, I think it's a mistake because I don't think you have the starting pitching to get you there.
So I still largely agree with you. I guess I'll phrase it this way. Is there a point where mathematically, if you're there, you consider trying to add starting pitching in order to make up that difference?
Well, let me say this. Just because I'm talking about selling and trading, I'm not necessarily talking about making moves that have to be just for the future.
Right.
Like I have no problems hooking up with Seattle and finding a way to give them the offense they desperately need to get one of their young pitchers. Right? I have no problem trading O'Hearns and Mullins to them if I can get a long-term solution to my rotation. So just because I'm selling, I'm not saying you can't make trades and try to hang in there this year. I'm just saying I would focus on deals that can get me there in 26 and beyond.
Sure.
And if it gets me there in 25, great. I'm not selling. I'm not saying to sell and give up on this team. I'm saying keep building this team.
Yeah,
but I think the way it's constituted is not going to get there. And I also don't think you can ignore the players on your roster that are free agents. You can't ignore that Cedric Mullins is going to walk or Zach Eflin's going to walk. If you don't have them extended, then why on a team that's 14 games out are we dreaming on them?
I understand everything you're saying. By the way, the scenario of you could have players come and go, it's sort of like the Tampa Bay Rays philosophy from a few years ago, and I'm not opposed to that either. And even if they're totally out of it, I'm not opposed to trying to acquire players because to your point, you better be trying to get back into this thing a year from now. Try to find some players with control if you can. Jim, it's interesting the way that you posit this because I think about Eflin in particular, and I find myself saying, but don't you need a Zach Eflin moving forward? Like,
yes, you do.
So,
but here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's going to be a team that need Zach Eflin right now to get to where they want to get to, and you don't have control of them past this year. So you can't ignore that. So if you haven't signed Eflin at the trade deadline, you're going to really hold on to him for 2 months? I mean, why not trade him, get pitching back, and then if you want Eflin, sign him again in the offseason? I'm not saying to do that. I'm just saying to let assets walk at the end of the year and not have compensation is stupid. Like, either sign Eflin or see what you can get for him. If you can get 2 pitching prospects for him, and then in the offseason in free agency, bring him back. Now I've got Eflin and 2 pitching prospects for 2 months of giving up on Eflin. That's the only point I'm trying to make.
I completely understand. I'm with you. He is Jim Bowden. He's with us here on GCR. Jim, obviously, part of what you're saying, it has to come with there's the qualification of the Orioles have to be willing to spend that money in the offseason. And we're all still so befuddled by how this past offseason went that, like, I
Right.
don't know, because I'd be in favor of extending Zach Eflin. I'd be in favor of I might even be in favor of considering an extension for Ryan O'Hearn. I'm in a weird spot with that one and how much it costs you, but his leadership has been so unbelievably valuable that I think about it. Do you think that, given how this went, that there will be a course correction from Mike Elias if he remains, from this ownership to say, all right, we really got entirely too cute the last time around. We know that there has to be money spent in order to close the gap.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have that commitment from ownership. I mean, you just do. And whether it's keeping your own players or trading for players, but my whole point is you have your cards in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So what do the cards look like? And what you've got a lot of great core players to build around. We've talked about it for the last several years, right? You've got Rutschman and Holiday and Westberg and Henderson and Cowser. Let's just those 5. And I think Mayo's going to be a 30 home run bat, even if he strikes out 150 times. So you have the nucleus of position players. You have it there. And you also have a lot of veteran players that should have trade value. And you've got kids coming like Bradfield as well. But you've got to look at your cards and say, how can I win with this core? And with the way you're built, you're not. So you got to build it. Now, Eflin absolutely should be a piece, but you haven't signed him.
Right.
So if you haven't signed him, let's move him and then look at it. But the other thing is, you always got to try to get younger too. You've got to make these trades to get younger, controllable players. I mean, that is so critical. I mean, signing free agents are expensive, and it's supposed to be the last piece that you do, right? I mean, you go back and look at the Cubs World Championship. The final pieces, Lester, or trading for Aroldis Chapman, last pieces. The Nationals with Max Scherzer. Like, free agents are you're not supposed to build with free agents. That's supposed to be the last piece. You're supposed to build with the draft and trades, and then you spend the money to put you over the top at the very end. So you got to make sure the Orioles are in the place that when you get to free agency in October and November, that free agent's going to put you over the top. And that's what they need to do. And that's why Mike Elias needs to show everybody what he can do in the trade market.
We saw
he has the pieces to win this trade deadline. He has a market where the sellers don't have anything. So he and Arizona, the 2 teams that should have been playoff teams that aren't, but can take advantage of where they are for the future by taking advantage of a seller's market.
I would assume that starts with that Eflin and Sagano would be in incredible demand at the deadline. We saw what the price of pitching was a year ago at the deadline. I would assume that your assumption would be an Eflin, and if Sagano continues to pitch the way that he has, those guys, even as rentals, could bring you back something significant at the deadline.
Definitely. And so would O'Hearn, and so would Mullins.
Really?
They're the 4.
So the O'Hearn one is interesting to me, Jim, only because I always assume that, like, most teams believe they have a Ryan O'Hearn, right? Like,
yeah, but he's hitting 330 with 9 homers or whatever it is, and there's too many Seattles, Kansas City. There's too many teams that Tigers that need a bat. There's just too many that need a bat. He's a bat. He extends the lineup. He's important. And Mullins catches everything in center field. Yeah. Regardless, and he's got 10 homers and 8 steals, and he catches everything. Those 4 guys should bring you back 10 to 12 players that can literally change your future in one shot. And then, by the way, in free agency, that's going to give you flexibility. You're going to have payroll flexibility there. You're going to have some money in the offseason. Even if they don't want to increase the payroll by a lot, you're still going to have a lot based on who you've traded. But that's what you need to do. Because I want this Oriole nucleus needs to win. I'm not going to accept that we're going to end up with this team not winning. Like, that's just unacceptable. Of all that good young talent, and then 2 or 3 years from now, they're all free agents, and you blew your window? You can't blow this window.
So let me add one thought to that. Is there anybody who isn't? Should it just be the pending free agents? Like, I am of the belief that is the furthest they go. To your point, they know they've got to recalibrate this window starting next year, and so it's only the pending free agents they haven't signed that could be dealt. Is there a place for considering other guys looking at? Okay.
Yeah. You have to be open-minded, because you have to look at the standings and you have to say that's who we are.
So you brought up Mountcastle, right? Like, is that in part because you just feel like at some point you need to commit to Kobe Mayo as being your first baseman?
Yes. I want to commit to these kids, and I want them to play full-time, and I'm sick and tired of the platooning. Let's find out. I want to find out. I mean, the outfield should end up being Cowser, Bradfield, Gerstadt, and Mayo at first base, and let them play every day. You want to find out about them, play them every day the rest of the year. I want all the kids playing this entire year, because if I'm not going to win this year and I'm going to make trades, I want to develop those position players that are affordable, so that I can show the ownership that we actually have a lot of money we can spend on pitching, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to put everything in on pitching next year, and we're not going to do middle-of-the-road guys. We're going to go get pitching.
Is there any thought to looking at dealing a Felix Bautista? Is there any thought to – okay.
Of course. Open mind. It all depends on the return. I don't want to trade him to trade him. I don't want to trade any of them to trade him, but it's all I am going to – I'm going to check this market out and find out the most I can get for every player and see what makes sense.
And that to me can you dominate? Is the market so high for this one player that it just happens to be worth it? And that's the thought that I would have there. Although it would be very painful if Felix Bautista continues to look like Felix Bautista. I'll ask you the question that's sort of I think standing over all of this, Jim. Does Mike Elias deserve the opportunity to be the one to pull the triggers after the failures of what happened last offseason?
I think he deserves this trade deadline to show everybody what he's going to do. He deserves that. He's put together a really good nucleus, and now he's got to prove he can do the GM role. He's a smart guy. I think he can do it. This is his trade deadline to show everybody what he's made of and how he's going to build the team.
If this continues, I guess we'll have a conversation about Tony Mansolino, but short of that, who do you think should be the next manager of the Baltimore Orioles?
Oh, I said this when Brandon Hyde was managing. I said this, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before Brandon Hyde was let go. I went on Foul Territory, and I said on Foul Territory that I would replace Brandon Hyde with Skip Schumacher immediately, and I would do it before somebody else hires him. Mm-hmm. Because we know when Bruce Bochy retires, Schumacher's going to be the next manager in Texas. But why should he have to wait for that? Because I don't know how many more years Bruce is going to manage. I watched Skip win Manager of the Year for the Marlins. He really knows how to develop young players. He creates a great atmosphere. He's great strategically. He knows how to handle a pitching staff. He would be the guy that I would have hired. Now, I don't know Tony Mansolini, so I don't know what he has, but I know I would have hired outside. I don't know hiring inside and keeping all the same people. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's enough change to make anything different. Like, what's different? I don't understand that. See, my whole thing was, it's not about who you fire; it's about who you hire. It's all about the replacement. Like, I don't want to fire anybody, but if the next person coming in, for example, when Theo Epstein fired Renteria and hired Joe Madden, he won a World Series.
Right.
I understood that firing, because it's about who he brought in, not who he fired. Who he fired was a good baseball guy. I'm not saying Brandon Hyde's a great baseball guy. He won a lot of games there. Is Mansolino that much better? And how do you know that, and why? And what's he going to do different than Brandon did? So what did that move really do? I don't know. I'm not there, so I don't have the answer, but that would be my question. I think they need outside help to get a different viewpoint, because I think there's too much internal belief in a certain path that doesn't work.
I strongly agree, and interesting that his guy John Mabry is now in Baltimore. Skip Schumacher's, that is. He was on staff in Miami. That's a very interesting way of looking at things. Jim, what are we plugging for you? Where, when, how, everything? You're the busiest man in show business.
Yeah, please check out my articles on The Athletic if you would. I put up my all-star teams for this year. Can't stand the restrictions of every team needs to be represented. It's really hard to do, but I did it, and I would love to get the listeners' opinion of what I got right and what I got wrong and what they would do differently on the all-star team. I also did one on sellers, which I included the Orioles on and the Diamondbacks. I did 9 sellers that I think are going to sell. I should have probably added Boston, but I was waiting a few days. But yeah, that's it. You can check me out on CBS Sports HQ. I'll be on tomorrow at 12:45 and 3:45.
We will link up that Sellers article from The Athletic as well on our Twitter account at Glenn Clark Radio. Jim Bowden, always appreciate you, sir. Thank you for squeezing us in.
Thanks,
I know
guys.
how busy
Appreciate
you are.
it, Glenn. You're the best.
Thanks, Jim. Jim Bowden with us here on GCR. Not only Jim Bowden, a great guy who's always very busy and willing to take time, he clearly was covering for intern Jake. Clearly. He thinks that Jake was on the other side of the glass. I couldn't hear it.
Right.
I heard it. I was sitting right here. I heard it.
I definitely said what up.
Yeah. But this is how good of a guy Jim Bowden is. He's thinking that, like, Jake's going to be in trouble.
Right.
And he doesn't want that. He's like, no, don't yell at your intern. Don't do that. He's working hard. He's trying. So he's like, no, he didn't say that at all. We're good. And even if he did, I would have liked it. Look at good guy Jim Bowden.
Thank you, Jim.
Jim covering for you.
The Ravens extended
I'm
Rashad
aware.
Bateman.
That happened like an hour ago.
Oh, 49 minutes ago, my bad. That's what I see.
I was going to get to it.
My bad.
I appreciate the gumption. It sometimes becomes reading ahead. I'm not ignoring it. It's just that we had a baseball guest lined up at the start of the show, so I wanted to lead with baseball, and then we'd transition and talk some football when we came back from break. That was the thought process. But again, I like the chutzpah.
Thank you.
I like it. We're going to get there eventually. Thank you again to Jim Bowden. He is a bit more dismissive of the idea of this could be a turnaround and that could change things. I do think the math matters at some point. I do. And what he brings up is interesting because he's not opposed to the idea of trying to do things and going both ways. You know, a little AC/DC here. He's not wrong. Like, even if you are within 4 or 5 games of a playoff spot, the question becomes, what's the likelihood that you can actually really do something? And if Zach Eflin's not going to be here beyond this year, if you've already explored that and it ain't happening, then the math isn't as simple as, well, we're not very far off. The question then becomes, what can we get for Zach Eflin? Do we think that maybe the return of a Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez could make up for the loss of Zach Eflin? And given the totality of the picture, is that the right thing to do? Now, it gets troublesome because it reminds you of 2022 where the Orioles were making their move and then kind of got hit in the kneecap. So if you do something like that, I would say if you're that close or closer, and going from where were they at worst, like 11 and a half games back recently, to being within 4 games, I would say is a significant move before the end of July. If you're in that spot, then I think if you want to still trade away Zach Eflin, it requires you to also be proactive in trying to acquire someone else's pitcher. To be fair, they got Zach Eflin at an extraordinarily good price last year. For as crazy as the price of pitching was, and it was badass, they were the one team that got pitching at a good price. Well, that pitching, because they also got other pitching at a, well, I say awful price, but I don't know. Maybe Trevor Rogers is the thing. We'll see. I do think it's complicated by a sudden win streak. Not, again, I'm still closer to Jim. Nothing right now says to me, change the strategy. I would first be trying to figure out if I can sign Zach Eflin, because you're going to need pitching. If it's not Zach Eflin, you're going to have to sign somebody else. So I'd first explore that. A lot of people yesterday were trying to do the Ryan O'Hearn game, like the Mike Bordick thing, where you're like, well, trade him and then sign him again. You were trying to cheat in Would You Rather Wednesday? Cheat and cheaters.
I do like that idea.
Cheat and cheater.
I'll take that one.
Cheat,
I didn't know that was an option.
Cheat
if I knew that was an option, that's what I would have done.
You're going to show up. What happened? Didn't that guy that hosted Cheaters actually once get stabbed?
I don't know if I know what Cheaters is.
Oh, it was a great TV show because I'm pretty sure host of Cheaters, didn't he get stabbed? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got Joey Greco. One episode where host Joey Greco was apparently stabbed during a confrontation
during the
yacht.
show.
Yeah, because it wasn't they weren't doing fake bits. They were actually like going and confronting.
There were 21 seasons of this thing.
Oh, this
aired from 2000 to 2021.
Well, nobody knew that part. People stopped watching it.
Okay.
At least it's like
it's on Tubi. We can watch it.
Like the Chris Hansen.
Why are we watching this? Let's put on Tubi.
It's like the Chris Hansen show where like you found out like that was still going on a few years ago.
Well, we knew that show was going on. That show was.
No, when it was going on, it was
Predator.
going on. Then we stopped caring. Like we all for like 2 years, it was a phenomenon. We were like, "Whoa, it's Catch a Predator. This is crazy." And then after 2 years, we all checked out, and it was like people that find out the Family Guy is still making episodes. They're like, "Really? They're still
we
doing
all know
that?"
that.
No, they don't. They don't all know that.
We do know
not
that.
a chance in hell.
Well, you're not in the club.
I'm a big Family Guy guy. Massive.
This version of Family Guy.
I mean, I'm not like sitting down every
that's the
Sunday
point.
night
Yeah.
after football.
But that's
to
what
watch.
Family Guy was. It was that show where you would watch every week and then talk about it. Like, it was that show. And then at some point, we all as a society were like
South Park, yeah.
Yeah, we're good. South Park, when it comes back, I still feel like has enough cultural relevance. Like, that you're interested in seeing how it's going to take down certain institutions, that people still watch it fairly immediately. These other shows, they do not. I don't know how we got it. Oh, cheaters. You're cheating cheaters. Don't get me wrong. If we could work out a deal right now with Zach Eflin, we're like, hey, bro, you're going to sign this deal with us in the offseason, but we're going to trade you first, and we're going to get 3 guys for you and have you back. I hear you.
It's like a Aroldis Chapman when they
Hear
traded him to the Cubs.
It literally happened with Mike. It got you Melvin Mora. They traded Mike Bordick to the Mets, got Melvin Mora, and then signed Mike Bordick back at the end of the year. Now, I'm not trying to compare Mike Bordick to Zach Eflin. You know, I love Bordy. That's not the same player.
Yeah, don't do that to Zach Eflin.
But I love the idea. It sounds great. It doesn't typically happen that way. It almost never happens that way, in fact. When we come back in, I don't know if you heard, there's some amount of football news. It could be anything, really.
Really?
What's it gonna be?
Could be anything.
Did Aaron Rodgers sign?
Could be anything at all.
Dying to know.
There was some news in football, and who knows what it might be. I could be telling you anything. A franchise could be moving.
Really?
Yeah.
Who would it be?
There could have been a trade.
You think Houston's
There could be
moving?
a rules change. We could be playing games on the moon.
We will.
Think about it. Think about it. It could be Ray Lewis might be coming out of retirement when we come back in.
Really?
You have no idea what is about to happen. But we're going to discuss it next on GCR.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at driveeasymd.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Celebrate 60 years of America's favorite muscle car at Live Casino and win a new Ford Mustang. Earn entries daily and enjoy revved-up specials across our restaurants and bars all June. Cruise in Saturday, June 28th, and be one of 25 players to win cool trips, hot prizes, or a new Ford Mustang. Hit the gas at Live Casino at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
Yeah, the terror that we all felt when that ball came off Rowdy Tellez's bat last night. Holy crap. Well, I guess this one's going to go the other way. It was fun while it lasted. And the crowd, of course, exploding in Seattle, all coming to their feet. Thank God. Thank God the ballpark held that one. Or whatever. What do they call that Pacific Northwest? Like the jet stream or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Thank God.
So Adley's found it, and that one got...
Phew. Sheesh. So, yeah, the Orioles did hang on to win last night. All right, it is a Thursday edition of the program. Speaking of the Orioles, they're hosting Lacrosse Night Tuesday, June 10th. That's next Tuesday, and fans can receive a limited edition Orioles-branded lacrosse penny when they purchase a special ticket package at Orioles.com/theme nights. That's Orioles.com/theme nights. Limited supplies remain. The night will feature appearances from stars like Colin Heacock, our buddy Matt Rambo.
Oh, I know him.
Matt Dunn, Loyola's own Sydney Black, and Grace Griffin. So get over to the ballpark next Tuesday and first go to Orioles.com/theme nights to get your tickets for Lacrosse Night. Now, could be anything. I know you guys are on pins and needles after our setup.
Is Derek Carr unretiring?
Right? Is this the moment we've all been waiting for? That finally the Ravens have reacquired the rights to the name Colts and they will play as the Baltimore Colts again moving forward?
Would we like that? Do you think people would like that?
No. Okay. We don't really want that anymore. But I do want the history back. I still want the records. I want the records. They should be a part of the Ravens' history. And I know that's a complicated conversation. I don't even know if Steve Bisciotti wants it, but they should be. Baltimore Colts lineage and history should belong in Baltimore, and it should be with the Ravens. It's a conversation for another day. You might have heard, I don't know where you would have, but you might have heard Rashad Bateman has re-signed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Really?
Whoa.
I didn't see that coming.
Whoa. It's a wild story how things have worked out for Rashad Bateman in Baltimore, right? Like, it really is a wild ride. And it used to be a very polarizing thing, Rashad Bateman, where I was always confused by it. And it sort of became a recurring thing for Rita and I on our show, where I would say, Rashad Bateman isn't part of the problem. He's part of the solution. What are we doing here? And for some reason, that was polarizing and would lead to debates and segments and people just wanted to get rid of Rashad. I mean, what are you talking about? Get rid of him. You're acting like he's Rashad Perriman, like he can't catch the football. The ball just doesn't come his way for whatever reason. And obviously, a lot of people point out that Rashad Bateman's appearance on this show last spring in the aftermath of kind of all of the stuff that was going on with the contract and his agent screwing up free agency and the whole thing, a lot of us were taken back by Rashad Bateman's not just ownership, but like over the top. If Ravens fans are mad at me, I understand. Like, it was a wild thing for him to say at the time. Like, I legitimately was like, dude, if I were you, I'd say, you guys can F off. But that wasn't the way that he approached it. And I think for a lot of people, it started to turn the way they appreciated Rashad Bateman. He obviously backed that up, had an outstanding season because Rashad Bateman is a very good football player. It's why when people are like, I don't know about the Ravens going and getting DeAndre Hopkins, I'm like, they don't need DeAndre Hopkins. They need a capable, a competent third wide receiver. They've got two dudes. It blows my mind when I see people around the country like, I don't know what they're doing with DeAndre Hopkins isn't DeAndre Hopkins anymore. I'm like, right, I'm aware.
And they've got Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely.
Yes, that helps too. But like at the wide receiver position, they've never been good at in the history of their franchise. They're good. Rashad Bateman, 3-year deal, $36.75, $20 million guaranteed. The Ravens had some cap space for the first time in a long time going into this year. And, we can question whether or not there were other areas. And I still think there are other areas. I still think they need a little bit more in the secondary. They can use another veteran at some point. But there's no real take to have here. It's kind of depressing. I like to have takes. There's really no take to have. Yes. Good. Hooray. That's list of things to say. Good football player. Gonna be good here. Long. Good. That's end of sentence. Yes, more Rashad Bateman. Thank you. Thumbs up. It's like when they re-signed Derrick Henry a couple weeks ago. Like, what is the take? What is there possibly to say? Obviously, the Cowboys apparently were interested in trading for Rashad Bateman earlier this offseason, and I don't know why they thought the Ravens would trade him. I really don't. I mean, short of offering something, I guess the Cowboys came in
like
and said,
Parsons,
right, or we'll give you a first and a second, something like that. Like, okay, then a lot of guys can become available at a price, but why they thought the Ravens would have any interest in trading Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman is part of the solution in Baltimore. He's a very good football player. I'll never fully understand why there was a disconnect between he and Lamar Jackson, and clearly his injuries, I think we know, played some role in that. But when he was on the field, he was regularly, you could go back and look at the video, he was regularly open, and the ball just wasn't coming his way. And it wasn't like the Ravens were so bad offensively. Like, this proves that it was a failure from Lamar Jackson. Well, they were doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Great to see. Good for him. Appreciate the attitude that he had when he was going through tough times in Baltimore. And I would have completely understand if he said, y'all can go F yourselves. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. This is a you problem, not a me problem. He had the exact opposite thought process of that. And continued to bust his ass and has delivered. You remember how frustrating it was to look at, like, wide receivers the Ravens drafted and guys they could have drafted over the years? It's really great to see that Rashad Bateman has panned out the way that he has. So just a cool thing that it works out on both sides. Great story. Good to have more Rashad Bateman. May he continue to play the way he did a year ago and be productive. And again, they don't need him to be Calvin Johnson. They have weapons all over the field. What a wonderful problem to have. Next on the hit list.
Are you going to rank the Ravens pass catchers now?
No. Next on the hit list.
DeAndre Hopkins won.
Thank you. I was so into the hockey game last night that I two different things happened. I actually missed the start of the Orioles game. Like, looked up and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. Like, I got to flip over. It's 10 o'clock. What's going on? I missed the start of the Orioles game. And then I actually missed the Cal Raleigh double that I was referring to a minute ago. I was looking down at my phone because I had on my TV, I put the Orioles game on, and then I moved the hockey game to my phone, but I was looking down at my phone because the hockey was so effing compelling. What? Why are you acting like that's weird? What?
Oh, because you don't like hockey.
You're a Capitals guy. Why would you think it's weird?
You can't claim hockey now.
I like hockey. I don't like the Capitals.
Get out of our
I don't understand why people are struggling with this. It's like people are like, why aren't you a big Chicago Blackhawks guy? Because I don't live in Chicago.
Well, they're also bad.
Okay, fine. I don't live in D.C. If I lived in D.C., I would probably be into the Capitals. I don't.
Although Connor, what's his face?
I'll never.
Bedard.
Connor Bedard's very good. Yeah. I'll never understand why Capitals fans in this area are confused by the idea that other people don't like the Capitals. Because we're not in D.C. If we were, we would probably be in the Capitals. Like, if I lived in Miami, I bet I'd be into the Panthers. If I lived in Edmonton, I'd probably be obsessed with the Oilers. I don't. I live in Baltimore. We don't have a team. I like hockey a lot. I had a team. I love that team.
You have to call them the Los Petroleros.
Where's that coming
so
from?
there's a Spanish broadcast, and somebody was sharing it, and they're I am only going to call the Oilers the Los Petroleros now.
Was there like a big highlight or something?
There was. It was like from last series.
Oh, it's not nearly as exciting then.
Los Petroleros.
Apparently, Wayne Gretzky called the shot on the tying goal in the third period. He described exactly during the second intermission how it would happen. So that was kind of wild. Dude, it was just a hell of a hockey game, man. Like,
I think we got 7 more or 6 more of these. So
I mean, yeah, given these teams, absolutely. It's funny. I'm trying to remember who. I don't know. Somebody in my world in my like timeline that is a hockey person was really pushing hard on, like, you. It might have started from the Le Batard show, maybe, because I think they're big Panthers people down there because they're in Miami. That, like, in most, best of 7 series, game 1 can never be a must win. But, like, for the Oilers in this series, game 1 was a must win. Like, you had to prove that you're the team that can get on the front foot. And, they were trailing. They battled like hell and end up, getting the penalty. They had, like, 3 really great scoring chances in overtime. And then it took getting the penalty, going on the power play, and ultimately they get the winner. So the Oilers win game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Just a phenomenal hockey game. Last night, 4-3 in overtime, and they take the 1-0 series lead at home. But to Griffin's point, I agree. I think there is a long way to go. I think there will be a lot of twists and turns in that series. Also last night, speaking of drama, hang on. Can you pull up the intentional walk?
Maybe. What was the intentional walk? I mean,
you don't know about it?
I guess not.
Oh, hang on. Proctor's gone. Just search intentional walk. You'll find it. Proctor's going to war on you. Says somebody get Griffin outside to touch some grass. He's the same color as his shirt.
Yo, that's fighting words, bro.
I hadn't
pull up
whoever
that was, dude.
No, this is
John Proctor.
You settled it. So this is John. It's the angle of the camera here. It's not doing me any favors.
I haven't looked at it on the screen. Does it look like the shirt just blends right into you?
Yeah. Especially like my arm as well. Like, I've got a pretty mean farmer's tan.
All right, well, that's
because I do spend a lot of time outside. By the way, for the record, John. And also you can see like my legs as well. So when I'm sitting, you can see like the really white part of my thighs. John, you know what?
I hear a lot of things.
I used to be on your side, pal.
I think it might just be time for you to do the show shirtless. I think that just might be what it is. I think that's what really is happening here. Is it's time to do the show shirtless.
Oh, from the softball game.
Yes, from the softball game. Some of us like sports. Some of us know what's going on.
There's a lot going on
in the world of sports. So immediately,
tap out early from the Orioles game.
Because I was watching both hockey and baseball. I was not in tune with the softball, but the internet made me in tune with it quite quickly, and I've realized they need to change the calendar here because the softball had been so good. Like when that was what was on Monday, I was glued. Like it was incredible theater. they made a mistake lining it up against the finals. Like, it's bad that Game 1 was on up against Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Game 2 was on up against Game 1 of – it will be on up against Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and Game 3, if there is one, would be on up against Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow night. They need to work that calendar out because the softball's so good they should be able to separate it a little bit. Like, Tuesday night, there were no games. There should have been a softball game on that night. Moral of the story being –
well, you got to rest this pitcher that's thrown – 800
do
pitches.
you know the story on this girl?
She transferred,
She
right?
transferred from Stanford because she's so good that they gave her $1 million. $1 million. Najari Kennedy.
They had to outbid Alabama. And
$1 million for a softball player.
She's the one pitching in this.
She has
right?
pitched every pitch of the College World Series for Texas Tech. Najari Kennedy is a star. Texas Tech up 1-0 in Game 1 of the Women's College World Series Final against Texas. So they're up 1-0. The circumstances are bottom of the 6th inning, 2 outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd. Now, I cannot pretend to know enough about the hitters that are involved in this scenario. Reese Atwood is the hitter that's at the plate. I'm not going to lie and tell you that I know everything there is to know about Reese Atwood and who's after her.
Then why are we listening to this show?
I am to understand that Reese Atwood is
good.
And so
she's not like that Oklahoma girl, but she's good.
Texas Tech says, nah, we'll try the next batter instead. And so they decide intentionally walk Reese Atwood and let's live to fight the next batter.
Do we want sound or just?
Sure, you can give sound. Here's what happens. Courtesy of ESPN last night in Game 1 of the Women's College World Series Final.
3 home runs here at the series.
That's a hit to pitch, and she will drive in a pair. Texas has the lead on her first hit of the World Series.
Now, again, context clues. 3-0 count.
Yeah.
This isn't the pitcher, like, overruling the call from the dugout. Janari Kennedy was attempting to intentionally walk Reese Atwood. Had already thrown 3 balls. Apparently, Atwood had noticed that the 2 previous were kind of close. She was like, huh. Well, maybe if it's close again, who was it? Was it Miguel Cabrera?
Yeah, it was definitely Miguel Cabrera.
We were off the Orioles.
Yeah.
Years ago, they were trying to intentionally walk Miguel Cabrera. Miguel Cabrera said, can't help but notice that's not a pitch outside the zone, and went ahead and did some damage. Apparently, Reese Atwood noticed the same thing, and she said, I'm going to go ahead and swing. If this one's close again, I'm going to swing. Grounds it just past the shortstop, who at least in part had to be caught off guard because it was supposed to be an intentional walk. Plates the runners on 2nd and 3rd, gives Texas a 2-1 lead, and they hold on for a 2-1 win in Game 1 of the Women's College World Series Final.
Here's the Miguel Cabrera one. I'm playing that one now. Yeah, it's in the other batter's box, and he just steps and says,
right.
Hit it up the middle, and Marlins score a run.
Yeah, why not? You hate it for Najari Kennedy, who's unbelievable. She, after the game, was like the quote was, that loss is on me. Like, they asked her a question, like somebody was trying to kind of soothingly work around it, and she was like, nah, I'm going to be direct. I screwed up. My fault. And you hate it for her because she's unbelievable, man. But, yeah, wild scenes down in Oklahoma City. By the way, did you know that in the Olympics in 2028, the host city, of course, is Los Angeles, and all the Olympics are going to happen in Los Angeles or Oklahoma City.
Okay.
Olympic softball will be in Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is such a big softball place that they've decided, despite the fact that, and I don't know everything about geography, admittedly, I struggle with it many times when we're playing Monday Night Trivia. To my knowledge, Oklahoma City, not close to Los Angeles. Like, that I remember. mean, closer than Baltimore. I'll give it that.
Is it? Are we sure about that?
Yeah, definitive close. I don't know. Now, if we compare it to the moon, I'm not sure which one is closer, Oklahoma or the moon. I don't know. But Oklahoma City is going to host the softball competition in the 2028 Olympics because it's such a good softball location. Wild, man. I had no idea.
So it's almost dead smack in the middle between Baltimore and L.A. Okay,
right.
OKC
It's literally halfway across the country
Yeah.
from Los Angeles. And yet they're going. They could do it in Las Vegas, definitively closer. That would be an option. They're not doing it in Las Vegas. In Los Angeles, they're building many facilities to host sports. They're not building a softball stadium.
Why would you?
They're just sending it to Oklahoma City. They said, that's where we're going, Chief. We're going to OKC to play the softball because it's such a huge softball. I believe there's something else that they're going to do in Oklahoma City, too. There's like, I don't know what the obsession is. Canoe slalom is going to happen in Oklahoma.
Well, that would make sense.
Befuddled, man. Befuddled. Apparently, they're still they haven't named where all the soccer matches are going to take place yet, but it's expected to be throughout California. They're going to play the soccer matches like in San Diego or
gotcha. So
up in Santa Clara or
closer
places
to the
like that.
equator. That'll be.
Yeah,
that'll go
nice
over
and warm.
well.
Nice and warm.
I guess they
July.
played in the World Cup in
San,
Qatar. So.
San Diego's never that. San Diego,
yeah,
because it's right on the water, is typically a little bit more pleasant whenever you're there. But like Los Angeles is going to be plenty hot. There's no doubt about that during the course of the Olympics. Anyway, I don't know how I got there. Oh, we were talking about softball. That's right.
Yeah.
So that got my attention last night. I mentioned the hockey got my attention. Of course, the NBA Finals get underway tonight. Game one between, speaking of Oklahoma City, game one between Oklahoma City and Indiana. What a week to be in Oklahoma City, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, my God, has there ever been a moment like this for Oklahoma City ever?
Maybe if Oklahoma was like going for their 5th national title, it'd be like a slightly bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
But I mean,
don't know,
it's
they're
already
hosting they host it every year, and then you add in the NBA Finals. It's crazy, man. So yeah, that gets underway tonight. Game one between the Thunder and the Pacers. As we talked about, the Thunder are heavy favorites in the NBA Finals. So all of that going on at the moment. The women's semifinals are going on today at the French Open as well.
You're worried about Sabalenka? Well, I mean, she's down now, but
yeah, I mean, like, I wasn't worried about her. I thought this match was going to go about like this. It was just crazy that Sabalenka was jumping all over Swiatek to start the match, and then Swiatek got 3 breaks back and had a chance.
Why did they start late, or this
started at 9 o'clock?
That was when they're supposed to start.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, because these are the only 2 matches today.
Well,
It's
yesterday. Okay.
They had 4 matches yesterday.
Oh, they're all doing them on this.
Yeah.
Center. What
Everything
do they call
is
it here?
this is Chatrier. This is their center court, if you will. But yes, once you get to the quarterfinals at the French Open, everything is on the same court. They don't play matches at the same time. So yeah, they had 4 to play the last 2 days, and then today they have 2. Tomorrow they'll start. They only have 2 again, but they start a little bit earlier because they are separating them. It's like a split ticket. If you buy a ticket, you only get 1 men's semifinal for your ticket.
So which one do you buy?
I mean, I guess you'd have to buy Djokovic Center. Like, I guess that's what you'd have to do. Although Alcaraz Mussetti's really good too, I think you would buy Djokovic Center. So yeah, a lot going on today. Still to come this hour, Enrique Bradfield is going to join us. Former Orioles first-round pick. He had a big home run last night for the Chesapeake Baysox. I guess we'll do fighting words because
all right.
We're supposed to.
Yes. A little bit of enthusiasm.
I guess.
Come on. Big event in your world
We're
this week.
getting in. Yeah, but that's not part of fighting words. We do a show. We have, I want to say 10 days.
I thought okay.
Left for this print issue of Press Box. So get to your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. This is the cover story from Luke Jackson, The Hard Road Back, from Tommy John surgery, major elbow surgery, for Felix Batista, Kyle Bradish, and Tyler Wells, among others. Also, get to know Buzz Williams a little bit more inside this issue, and Samuel Basayo. You can find all of that right now inside the print issue of Press Box, which is available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of those hundreds of locations around town. It's a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. This August, the PGA Tour's best are coming to Maryland. The 2025 BMW Championship tees off August 12th through 17th at Caves Valley Golf Club in Owings Mills. See the top 50 players battle it out in the penultimate event of the FedEx Cup playoffs. Don't miss your chance to witness world-class golf, fan experiences, and unforgettable moments. Tickets are on sale now at bmwchampionship.com. The BMW Championship, where legends take the lead.
Celebrate 60 years of America's favorite muscle car at Live Casino and win a new Ford Mustang. Earn entries daily and enjoy revved-up specials across our restaurants and bars all June. Cruise in Saturday, June 28th and be one of 25 players to win cool trips, hot prizes, or a new Ford Mustang. Hit the gas at Live Casino at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from driveeasymd.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at driveeasymd.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas Combo, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR. If you missed Stan the Fan, Charles, Ross Grimsley, and Dan Duquette earlier in the week, they got together to talk some baseball. You can find it at facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. Stan, Ross, and Luke Jackson typically every Monday talking baseball with you. And all of Stan's shows brought to you by the Costas Inn, which is now open, the new location. Second Costas Inn location now open in the grandstand at the racetrack in Timonium, serving all of your Costas Inn favorites. They don't do steamed crabs at that location, still available at the original Costas Inn, but everything else that you love about the Costas Inn, including those wonderful crab cakes that were housed by our guys Matt Rambo and Rob Pinnell the other day. You can find those at the new Costas Inn location in Timonium at the racetrack. So go check them out, now open. Not sure if you saw the story at InsideMDSports.com the other day, but kind of wild. We know that Steve Blake's son, Nicholas Blake, is committed and is going to join the Maryland basketball roster next season. Not a lot. Certainly the thought from the outside is that Nicholas Blake is not going to be Steve Blake, that's not the impact that he would have as a player. But very interesting, the follow-up, apparently two other players on the Maryland radar for the coming years in recruiting. One is Corey Dixon, the son, of course, that's right, TCU head coach Jamie Dixon. No, of course. Corey Dixon is Juan Dixon's son.
Kenneth Dixon? Oh, okay. That's right. Juan Dixon. Yes.
Yes. We could keep doing the Dixon game if you'd like, but I don't think you're going to want to. Is it be my turn? I'll take Sheila Dixon.
Good. I didn't want Sheila Dixon.
Xander Dixon.
Xander Dixon?
Who's Xander Dixon?
PLL player. UVA.
Oh, right. Yeah. I do remember Xander Dixon.
Slim Reaper.
If you want in, you want in, but you got to understand what the waters you're getting into are.
That's the only one I had, so I'm just going to go ahead and exit.
Sure,
okay.
That's ours.
Oh, ours? You think you get to go 2-on-1? Okay.
Yeah, we get to go 2-on-1.
Former Ravens tight end, Ed Dixon.
Oh, interesting. How about, maybe you've heard of him, good author, Charles Dixon.
No.
What do you mean, no?
That's a real guy.
No, it's not. Try again.
Why?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why I won't let you say Charles Dickens' name is Charles Dixon?
Yeah.
You're really asking that
Yeah, his name's
question?
Dixon.
It is not.
Famous NFL running back, Eric Dixon.
Yeah, right. We're just saying anybody whose name sounds sort of similar to Dixon. Is
Everyone
that
knows
the route
Eric,
that we've gone?
Eric Dixon.
Just go ahead and do it. Just go ahead and
no,
do it.
we got more Dixons.
Do you?
Yeah, we do. We just named 2.
No, you didn't. You haven't named one.
Yeah, we did. We named 2
no,
guys.
you haven't.
Well, we've named a couple, but.
Uh-huh. You got any? Yeah, just say it. Just go ahead and say it.
There's
Just say the words. Just say the words.
No, you say them.
Just say the words.
You say them. Alex.
Get over it already. Say
Alex,
the words.
You're the one who got us into this.
Say the words.
Wait, what's the words?
Yeah.
You don't know what you have to say here? Well, you don't get to say it. Griffin has to say it.
No, he got us into
Griffin
this.
has
I didn't
say
want
it.
to.
I still have one more is the crazy part.
Can this be a fictional character?
I mean, if it's a Dixon.
I played Xbox a long time ago with a guy who his name was
You're just making somebody up
No.
now.
Pudding. Like pudding.
What?
Pudding mom.
About Simeon Woods Richardson. That's a Dixon. That's a Dixon. You know. Richardson is basically Dixon. That's the same. That's the same thing. I just said one.
Simeon you know what? I don't want to admit who the other one is, but I actually have 2 in the chamber. Oh, I'd rather not share the other one.
Michael Jackson.
It's just embarrassing. I know
Michael
it.
Jackson.
I know another one because of my cousin's son, who introduced me to this person and his very popular internet song. I'm not proud of it.
Okay, I don't know if I follow here.
Yeah. You just say the words, for God's sake, so we can be on.
You're the
No,
guy.
say it.
You know the dick. You know the most dicks.
No, I don't. I know. I'm the king of the. Say the words.
Yeah, you're the king of the dicks. Okay.
No, I'm not. We don't move on until you do it.
You're the king of the Dixons.
Thank you. How about former Oregon and briefly Ravens quarterback Dennis Dixon?
Yeah, that's not a real guy.
No, that's a very real
he's
guy.
Not real. He's not
very real guy. I think he was only ever on the practice squad in Baltimore, if I remember correctly. But I do believe he started for the Steelers, if I remember, if history reminds me. The other guy that don't ask me why I know this person.
Damn it, Daryl Dixon. That's a good one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Daryl Dixon. Actually, that is a good one.
That was John's. By the way, I hate you, Proctor.
Oh yeah, Mason the Line Dixon. I totally forgot about Mason the Line Dixon. Even the Mason Dixon line would have worked, I think. But Mason the Line. Who was was it? Antonio Tarver who played Mason the Line Dixon in Rocky 6?
I will CD you.
I think it
Rocky
was.
6 is not in my.
Rocky 6 was called Rocky Balboa, if I remember correctly. Rocky 6 was a winner. It was a very good film. 2006, I believe, is when that one came out. In between the Rocky series and the Creed series.
Gosh, that was the last one before Creed.
Yeah, Rocky 6. No, unfortunately, and Proctor knows who I'm thinking of. Dixon Dallas. Dixon Dallas has a very popular song on the internet called
oh my gosh,
Good Looking. Yeah. I know who I'm talking about,
don't
don't
know
you?
what this is.
You know who I'm talking about, and it's shameful. It's a shameful one.
That's impressive.
Not one that I should. When I remembered it, I was like, "Oh no, I'm not. I hope I don't have to pull that one out here. I hope that's not the one that I have to turn to." All right.
Is
Anyway,
his name supposed to be a play on something? It's Dixon Dallas.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's exactly what you think it is. I don't know how we wash this taste out of our mouth exactly. I don't know where we go from here. Hey!
You want to play the clip of what happened last night, and then as we really lead into
Oh,
this?
you've got it?
Yeah.
Oh, of course you've got it. It's a big moment last night for the Chesapeake Baysox as they had to go to extra innings, and someone stepped up to be the hero.
On the pitch. Lifted high in the air to right field. Watson doesn't see it. This one's deep, and this is gone out to the Modelo Tiki Terrace. Enrique Bradfield Jr. delivers his first home run for the Baysox this season and gives Chesapeake its first lead of the night, 4-2 in the top of the 10th.
It's a road broadcaster. Get off him. This is like when everybody was all the Maryland fans were mad at me when I was the Loyola broadcaster and Maryland won in overtime, and they were like, "You should be more excited." I said, "You don't pay my salary."
On the pitch.
All right, we got it. Thank you very much. Yes, last night, extra inning home run for our next guest. His first home run of the season as the Baysox delivered a win. Let's catch up with former Orioles first-round pick Enrique Bradfield Jr., who's back with us now here on GCR. Enrique, it's Glenn. It's great to catch up, man. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning.
Hey, Glenn. How you doing? How you guys doing?
We're great, man. I imagine you're feeling pretty good today.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but we'll make it.
What did you know immediately off the bat? Were you like, "Oh, dude, that's gone," or were you maybe as confused as the right fielder was in that scenario?
So I think that was like the 6th or 7th pitch of that bat. I hit it well, and off the bat, I'm like, I hit that well, but then you see the right fielder not move,
right?
And then you don't see the ball yourself, and then you start to kind of question if you actually hit it as well as you think. And the next thing that was going through my mind was like, if this ball stays in the yard, if I don't score or if I'm not standing on third base, it's going to be a bad look.
Right. You better off.
I started getting around the bases.
That might be the fastest home run trot of your life, right?
It could be. I might have had one or two that are a little faster, but it might be up there.
How good does that feel? I know it's been tough with the injury and getting going. How good does a moment like that feel? I don't know if it's like, do you say, hey, all right, that now I'm good. I just needed something like that to get me going.
It felt good. It felt good. The team needed it. Obviously, we've been playing some good baseball, and honestly, we really haven't been. We haven't had some things fall our way. We've been swinging the bat well, hitting hard lineouts, and that's all you can do, you know. It's a tough game we play at times, so I think we had lost 7 straight. So to be able to help the team get back in the win column, that felt good. But it just kind of speaks to just having to continue to push forward regardless of what things look like in the moment. You know, you're closer to your next hit, your next at-bat pretty much. So I'm just trying to stay focused on that and continue moving on.
Love the sounds of that. Enrique Bradfield with us here on GCR. The irony, of course, Enrique, is that, like, we don't associate you necessarily with home runs, right? Like, that's not the part of your game that we think about most. Is that something that you feel like is going to come on more as you continue to progress, that you feel like there is some more pop? We know you hit 18 doubles a year ago. Do you feel like there's some more pop in that bat? Is it even a priority for you? Would you say, no, dude, my job is to get on base so that I can be standing on third in a couple of seconds?
I wouldn't say it's a priority for me. I feel like eventually it's gonna happen with more reps, more time. I feel like my swing's in a great position.
Yeah.
It's just more so I can't make up for the lost time in a couple weeks that I've been back now. So I just have to be patient with myself. I think I missed like 6 weeks or something. I can't get 6 weeks worth of hits in 3. So I'm just trying to stay patient and give myself time. I think I have 60 at-bats, official at-bats at this level this year. So it's going to take some time. There's a lot of baseball to be played, and it's still early in the year.
You know, everybody talks about how, like, the jump from high A to double A is when things kind of get real for prospects in baseball. When you got there, did you feel that? Like, did it hit you, like, how real the change was? And obviously a year ago, like, the numbers were very good. How quickly were you able to adjust to that? And does it start, we know how good you are. We know how high of a level you played in college. but does it give you that feeling of, right, I can do this. I'm good. I'm on my way to being the player that everybody thinks that I'm going to be?
Yeah, definitely. Getting to AA and having the performance that I had in the last 6 weeks of the year to end my 2024 it definitely helped me find some confidence that I hadn't had in a long time. Some confidence that I guess I showed when I was playing some of my best ball in college. So it definitely felt good. And then I kind of used that to build my off season and then come back into spring training and have a good spring training. So obviously the injury deterred that a little bit and slowed that process down, but I feel like I'm getting back to a good place where I could continue to just build night by night. I'm just going out there trying to have 4 good at-bats and just help the team in any way I can.
Enrique, I got to tell you, I remember when we talked, when it was you and your dad right after you got drafted, you guys came on the show together. It's one of my favorite segments we've ever done on this show, right? Like I was like in tears afterwards. I'm a father of 2 boys. They're both baseball players. I was feeling some things. But I remember like talking then about like the knock that people had about you as a hitter. Is that something that like has affected you, that you said, I've got something to prove? Or are you the type that's able to say, I don't care what these people think? Like that's not like how do you handle that as you progress as a baseball player?
I mean, people are always going to have their opinions. Whether they're valid or not makes no difference to me, whether they come from an established source or not, or established individual in our industry makes no difference. The only opinions I really and truly care about are my family's opinions, obviously what the team thinks and what the team sees, and the people who see me on a daily basis. Everybody who knows I show up, I walk through the door, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to give everything I got, I'm going to have a good mindset while doing it. Those are the opinions I care about. What somebody says on Twitter, on anywhere, to be honest, I really don't care for. It does nothing for me.
I appreciate that.
It's just somebody's opinion.
Did you, like, it's interesting listening to what you said about your production last year. Did you feel any of that? And was there something to you that did click or did change? Did you tinker your approach or your swing in any way that led to like that really good offensive season, that thing that we knew that we had seen early on in your college career?
It was just honestly some very minor things.
Yeah.
Some things that weren't too hard to clean up. And going to AA in the matter of a couple weeks, I was cleaning these things up, and they're proving evident on the field. I was playing baseball at a level that I hadn't played all year, if I'm being honest with myself, and in a level I hadn't seen myself play in a couple of years going back to college. So it was good to be able to experience that, and from there it's just it's remembering that I'm gonna be everything that I know I can be, and that people think I'm gonna be. So it's just going out every night and just trying to get 1% better and just keep working on the smaller things. And over the course of time, they all come together.
Everyone knows the range that you have in center field. And, of course, you know, at the major league level in Baltimore, there's a guy that has unbelievable, almost unheard of range in center field. I know you talked a little bit about the time that you got to spend with both Cedric and Adam Jones as well during spring training this year. Can you share anything that maybe you picked up from those guys that you think has maybe helped you as you've gotten back on the field after the injury this year?
Yeah, definitely. I'll share one thing that Cedric and I talked about during spring training, and it was simply during a home spring training game, we're sitting in the dugout, and I'm kind of just watching him, and he's sitting there by one of the coolers, and I could tell he's having some sort of inner dialogue with himself. So I just went up to him and I asked him, I was like, what's going on in your brain right now? And, you know, he was telling me how spring training's pretty much a process for him. You know, when he gets there, he's trying to find his footing and try and slow the game down. But then he gets to a point where the amount of reps that he's stacking on a daily basis, they start to really kick in. And then now he feels like, okay, he's on the other side of that. So then he's trying to walk himself back to some middle ground, whether he's at the plate, whether he's on the field. So it's just really that type of process is something that I could use going forward, especially coming back from my injury, because I can't make up for lost time. I was down 6 weeks. I was playing well when I went down. So of course there's some there's some want to come back and jump right into that. But the reality is that's honestly, it's not realistic. You know, other guys have 100+ ABs, and I'm rolling around 50 or 60 right now. So it's like I've missed time. So looking up at the scoreboard and looking at other guys' numbers and all that type of stuff, who's got promoted, who's in the big leagues, like that does nothing for me. It's my own journey and my own race. So I can thank Cedric for kind of giving me that perspective on it.
That's so profound, man, right? Like I've always loved Cedric. You know, he's not a guy that talks a lot, right? Like he's not the loudest guy in the room, but boy, when he talks, man, he has something to say. That's such a profound thing, man. That's so cool. And then, like, what was it like getting to meet Adam? Obviously, like a legitimate legend. He's almost the exact opposite of Cedric. He always has something to say, right? Like he's always the loudest guy in the room. What was it like getting to meet him and getting to connect with him in spring training?
Yeah, well, I actually connected with him last year when I got up to Double-A. He came over for a night and watched the team play, so I got to connect with him there. And from there, it's kind of just been it's been open lines of communication. Wow. He reaches out every so often, asks me how I'm feeling, if I need anything. I went on his podcast later in the off season and did something with him, so that was pretty cool. But in spring training, just being able to get to know him, to talk ball. He's awesome. Everything that he's done in his career is obviously magnificent, but what he's giving back to the organization, what he's giving back to the game now is just as important for young guys like myself. He's the best. He's one of my favorite human beings that has ever come through this city, man. He is a special, special dude. All right, this is I don't know if we talked about it before, Enrique Bradfield, but I'm going to put you on the spot. When you get to the bigs, can you hit 100 stolen bases given what the rules are at this point? I believe I can.
Yeah.
That's there's no doubt in my mind. I think I can get there.
What are the rules for you? Because the number last year was astounding. What was it, 75 last year? Like, it was incredible.
Yeah, it was somewhere around there, I believe.
So what are like the rules for you of when you go? Do you have like a permanent green light? Is it, you know, if it's a certain pit? What are the circumstances by which you go when you get on base?
At this level, it's more so of a chess match. At lower levels, you can kind of just get on and run freely. The pitchers and the catchers do a good job in our Double-A league. So it's definitely trying to find the right pitch to run on, the right spot. Certain batters, I might be in scoring position at second base with certain guys in the lineup up. So I want to see what they can do. They're at the plate. I want to see them swing the bat and bring me in. So I have a green light for the most part when I'm out there. There's only a few situations or game situations that can give me the red light, or I just got to be smart about what I'm doing. So it's a lot of game planning going into the night, a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm watching the pitchers and their tendencies. I'm also looking behind the plate and seeing what the catchers are doing. So I wouldn't say there are too many rules for me out there.
Man, do you like, is it a tell thing? Like, do you notice that, like, he's coming over, he's definitely not coming over? Like, do you have, is it almost a psychology thing once you're on base?
Pretty much. That's a good way to look at it. That's a good way to look at it. I'm not going to surprise anybody.
Right. Yeah,
every scouting report I look at.
Yeah.
Every scouting report I look at, honestly, I have to take it with a grain of salt, and I could probably throw it out right after I look at it.
Wow.
Because when I get out there, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. They know what I'm going to do, and they know what I'm looking to do. So at that point, I'm looking for something small to beat them at.
Man, that's cool. That's such a cool part of the game, dude. We could spend like 6 hours just talking about it and dissecting that. The Baysox are back home next week, starting on Tuesday night. You can go to Baysox.com to find out more about all of the great promotions next week. Military Appreciation Night, Woof Wednesday, Fireworks Night, a couple of fireworks, and a Star Wars Night next Saturday with lightsaber battles and character appearances. Make sure you get your tickets by going to Baysox.com. All right, we've wasted time talking about baseball, Enrique. We have to get to the important things. Who should be the one to ultimately dethrone John Cena? when the run comes to an end?
That's a good question. That's a really good question because I'm actually enjoying this heel Cena.
Are
it's
you?
A much different look. I am.
I enjoyed the turn. Like, I thought the turn was cool, and then I kind of got like the matches not being good. Like, I get the bit that's supposed. I'm ruining wrestling, but I don't know. I kind of got. I don't like that being the character, right? Like, I don't want bad matches.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't in the past couple months. I haven't been able to follow wrestling as I've been in the off-season.
You've been a little busy, you're saying?
Yeah, I've been a little bit busy, so I try and watch here and there. On a Friday night, I might go on YouTube after and see some highlights. On a Monday, I might do the same. But I'm actually enjoying this different side to John, and honestly, I'm keeping my eyes open for maybe what could come. Who I think dethrones him? I don't know. I think it has to be somebody who's very established. It can't be a younger guy.
Everybody thinks everybody thinks it has to be Cody, right? Like, because and that's what you just said is where I am. Like, Cody's had his moments. You know what I mean? Like, and that's no disrespect to Cody. I'm so drunk on Jey Uso right now. Like, I'm obsessed with Jey Uso at the moment. It's the coolest thing. Dude, when he does that intro and the entire arena is yeeting with him, it's just so dope. I would love a scenario where Cena costs Jey Uso that title and then Jey Uso takes his title. Like, that would be dope as hell to me if it played out that way.
He walks into every arena,
bro,
and everybody loves him.
They're losing their minds. Like, it's just the coolest thing you've ever seen. I'm a Jey Uso guy, man. Like, I absolutely.
I like what Jey has going on. I think what's intriguing to me too is the whole CM Punk. Then you got Heyman with Rollins, Breaker, and that squad over there. I think I wouldn't be upset if somebody like Rollins was the one to dethrone him.
That's who I want. That's who I want. Seth freaking Rollins.
My cohort Griffin's a Seth Rollins guy. And
that's who it is.
I don't know, man.
Seth freaking Rollins.
I don't know. I do love Paul Heyman though. Like, I love Paul Heyman. He's the best. Whatever he's doing.
Or does it be Randy Orton?
Man. Yeah, I mean, like, but they said the last one was the last time for Orton and Cena. I know. That never really means anything. I understand. Who's the guy because I know you've met a bunch of these guys. Who's the guy that you've never met that's like number one on your list? Like, if you have that opportunity at some point, you've got to meet this wrestler.
There's a lot of them. I actually, when I was signing my contract, I met a couple guys down at Jimmy's Seafood.
Yeah.
Riddle was over there.
That's cool.
I met Austin Theory. They're real cool dudes. I got to meet Matt and Jeff Hardy this past offseason.
I saw that. That's so dope, man.
I guess I gotta go with I don't know. I'm a huge Randy Orton fan.
I saw, like, if you don't know how big of a Randy Orton fan Enrique Bradfield is, go check his Instagram right now. Like, you will see exactly how big of a Randy Orton fan is, as his Instagram profile picture is actually Randy Orton.
But do you know which Randy Orton that is?
That hang on. I don't. Which Randy Orton is this?
That's the 2009.
Oh, that was otherworldly. Like, that was a generational run, man. My God.
When I was a kid, I remember watching with my dad. I'll never forget the segment where Triple H broke into Randy Orton's house
in St. Louis. Yep.
Oh, yep. That one segment right there is the one I highlight when I look at that 2009 Randy Orton.
Oh, dude, that was a hell of a time, man. Like, that was just a hell of a time.
Enrique, I'm looking at your story. And you got a picture of Creed Williams in a ski mask. Is this his wrestler name, Cheeto Willie?
No, that used to be an old gamer tag of Creed. So I actually just found that out a couple of days ago, and it's turned into my personal favorite nickname for him.
I dig it, man. What do you guys? When you guys game, what are you playing?
I don't game much anymore,
Okay.
but if I were to get on there, I'm playing some PGA or some MLB.
Wow.
But MLB's been they've been lacking with the last couple games. The quality of the games haven't been the best, so I'm hoping they turn that around for everybody.
It's time. But now, have you – so I'm sure you've made yourself in one of the games. They haven't gotten to the point where you've been a playable character yet in any of the games, have you?
Well, I'm in there.
Are
I have
you?
a playable character for everybody. Obviously, a super low rating at this moment, but
We're gonna
all
change
of us
that.
guys, we all get a card each year, a 99 overall card of ourselves.
Oh, that's dope.
So
That's dope, man.
Couple of guys, we take our players, grab a couple other players off the actual game, and then we go online and we play some co-op against a couple other people.
That's awesome. Oh, dude, what's that like, the first time you get to play as yourself in a video game? Like, what's that? I know you've accomplished a lot of things, so I'm not trying to make it seem like that's the pinnacle, but that's still got to be dope.
It was cool. The first time I got to experience that was after the 23 draft. I was part of that draft program that they had released in the game, and I had a 97 overall.
Whew.
And so I was playing with that for a little while, and then I got my 99 overall.
Man.
And it's just fun, It's something that you've always dreamed of as a kid, and to be able to have other people send me messages on social media saying they're enjoying playing with the card. That meant something to me. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome, man. You can follow Enrique at Enrique Bradfield on Instagram, on Twitter at eBradfield20 as well. Give him a follow in those spots. Enrique, is there anything else that we can plug for you, dude?
No, that's about it. That's about it. I'm active on Instagram, probably the most, I would say. I'm active on Twitter a little bit, so I kind of just like keeping in tune with what's going on in the world.
Awesome to see you back on the field and thriving. Cannot wait to see what's next, and look forward to having this conversation more as you make that move towards the bigs. Appreciate it. Thank you, Enrique. Really enjoyed this, dude.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys.
Enrique Bradfield, one of the top Orioles prospects with us here on GCR. Really appreciate him taking the time, and that was a perfect timing for him to hit that home run last night ahead of him joining the program today. Really appreciate that as well. All right. If you're looking for everything that's going on in the world of high school sports, and if you've missed anything during championship season, then you need to go to countysports.zone to get your recap of all of it. It's proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Countysports.zone, again, is the website. Come back in. Fighting Words is next. It's Glenn Clark Radio. Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
There will be a new French Open women's champion. There'll be a first-time French Open women's champion. Bummer, because after the first two sets where Iga and Aryna Sabalenka were battling, I mean, like a hell of a first two sets, Sabalenka then blitzes Iga Swiatek, gets a bagel in 6-0 in the third set. So, with that, Aryna Sabalenka on to the French Open final for the first time in her career, where she awaits the winner of Coco Gauff and the French wildcard, Louis Besson, who will play next, hoping to punch their ticket. Coco Gauff has reached the finals before, and hoping to get over the hump, but the way that Aryna Sabalenka is playing, that will not be easy. She's got a tough one today before that, so that's the story there. Iga Swiatek, the three-time defending champion at the French Open, out in the semifinals. It is a Thursday, so it is time for us to do this.
It's Fighting Words with Griffin Bass.
Fighting Words is going to be brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. I hear there's a big card on Saturday night.
There is, UFC 316.
I know where you're going to watch it. You're going to watch it at Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel, the best place for watching all of the big fights. Why pay big money for pay-per-views when instead you can watch them for free inside Sports and Social? Delicious food, just an incredible atmosphere. Sports and Social, Live Casino and Hotel. That's the place to watch the card. Now tell us about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should start with that. However, there was kind of some news over the weekend. I was talking about how kind of down of a week it was. They got an Apex card with not really a whole lot of entertaining fights going on. But then some notable things kind of happened. It was supposed to be Macy Barber versus Aaron Blanchfield. They did not fight. The fight got canceled seconds before walkouts. So it was very dramatic. Brian Powell wanted to make sure we touched on it. I don't know, Alex, did you happen to watch?
Dude, I was so mad.
You were mad?
So mad. Like waiting for the last fight of the night all night, and then like the other one ends, and they're like, by the way, there's no fight.
Good night, folks.
Yeah, go to bed.
So Macy Barber missed weight, and it was like, okay, I mean, whatever. She missed by like 2 pounds, I think.
Do you know why she missed weight?
So none of that's been confirmed. That's why I wasn't gonna bring it up, but there's some speculation. If you use your eyes, she got breast implants.
Okay.
And she missed weight by about 1.5 pounds.
So if you do the math.
All right.
And it is what it is.
I don't think it's great.
You shouldn't miss weight.
So the story is that the other girl thought if she won the fight, then she'd be in line for a title.
It was kind of whoever won it. This was more so kind of a title eliminator here. Whoever probably.
I'd be pretty pissed off too.
And this is the second time this has happened. Between these two.
But is the thought that she legitimately had a health issue?
Yes. Yeah. So again, none of it the U.S. It's not like the NFL where you got an injury report every week or really any major pro sport, but where it's like nothing really ever has to be confirmed. Like you have to wait for a guy to be like, yeah, I tore my meniscus or whatever, and I had to get surgery. That's why I missed 8 months, or I tore my ACL. And that's why I missed a year. So the report was that apparently she had a seizure backstage right before. And again, it's just kind of like, I hope she's okay. She ended up going on Helwani this week to talk about it. So it's, it's like, it sounds like she's okay, and you hope that, everything's, as you like to say, on the up and up here, and that, she got the help that she needed. She went to the hospital. But yeah, I mean, Erin Blanchfield rightfully should be pretty pissed. She was a big favorite. They gave her like show money and the win bonus as well. The UFC did. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of a bummer. I wasn't gonna, I think because what was Saturday night? The NBA Finals were Saturday night. So like So we tuned in. I wasn't even planning on watching it, but I was hanging out with my friends, and they were all like, "Oh, there's a fight on. We should watch it." So we watched we were gonna watch the final 3 fights. First fight that we saw was pretty good. We got a guy got choked out, put to sleep. Then we had Mateus Gamrot, and that one went the distance, like I said, if anyone listened to me. And Gamrot won, and then they played the promo for Barber and Blanchfield, and then they like cut back to the arena. And usually how it works is that they play the promo, and then it cuts to Blanchfield or whoever's walking out of the tunnel with their music, and instead they cut back to the broadcast table and are like, we're not really sure why Blanchfield isn't coming out of the tunnel just yet. We're gonna take a break, and we'll tell you why. They had
that's awkward.
Yes, it was very, very awkward. So they go to commercial break, and they come back, and it's like, apparently there was a health issue on Macy Barber's side. The fight is canceled, and it was very, very awkward. It was very weird, and pretty disappointing as well. And I hate to think, what if this was in the Apex as well? So thank God this wasn't in
a real arena,
in a real arena. But also does this happen in a real arena? Again, I just
What do you mean? You think that they forced her to go out after she had?
No, I'm saying she misses weight, and maybe she had a really tough time rehydrating. And if the seizure is real, then yes, she needed to go to the hospital. But so there's a lot of nothing.
I don't think they would fake a seizure.
I don't think so either.
I don't know what we're doing here. This seems a little conspiracy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I am, and that's what
I think that's probably a bit.
Yeah. So, but now it leads us into this week. A big fight. We got 2 title fights. UFC 316 up in Newark. Alex, we thinking about going? What do we?
I don't know if I can make that drive. I think I'm working.
Wow.
I'll watch them.
You're going to be over at Live Casino and Hotel with me on Saturday.
Yeah, I know, but if we can take a jet up there or something.
Yeah, you get the PJ?
If I am curious because I want to see how much I meant to look beforehand because the prices did go down. So
I guess you could be there in time for the main card.
I could be there sooner. I could take
Yeah, you could be there in time for the.
I got back roads to get to Newark.
Yeah. Oh, you know people?
Yeah.
I went to a Strike Force card in East Rutherford once. Was that what it was? Strike Force?
That sounds right. Yeah.
It was part of the Grand Prix.
Was Shogun in Strike Force? Or
I don't know.
Who all was it? Who were some
it
of
was
the
part of the
Strikeforce?
Heavyweight Grand Prix, and it was in East Rutherford at the old arena that the Nets played in. Oh, God, this is going to drive me nuts. East Rutherford Strike Force Grand Prix. Let's see if that comes up with it so I can see who is on. Fedor versus Silva.
Ooh, I mean, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, Antonio Silva, Fedor. Well, there was a doctor stoppage. Fedor was not himself anymore.
DC was in Strikeforce before he came to the UFC.
Karatanov and Andrei Arlovsky. I do remember singing Andrei Arlovsky's song in my head for about 2 weeks afterwards. Andrei Arlovsky.
Oh, Andrei Arlovsky.
That wasn't it.
That wasn't it.
The rest of Alistair Overeem's brother was in a fight. Yeah, the rest of the card was kind of.
I mean, Alistair Overeem's brother, that's pretty legit.
But I remember being super excited about going up because it was at the time of my life where I got nothing to do on a Saturday night and they'll give me credentials. They love me. Let's just go up. And they had asked me if I would come and I was like, I don't know. And they said, well, if you want to bring somebody else, you can bring somebody else. So I asked everyone at the radio station if they wanted to go. And they're like,
yeah.
You want me to drive up to New York?
Well, you'll drive.
For a secondary UFC, it's not even the real UFC, and I was like, yeah, but it's the heavyweight Grand Prix, and it's Fedor.
Fedor's never going to make the get to the UFC.
I ended up bringing a guy that was only tertiarily. I don't know what the adverb form. Tertiarily, I don't know. Related to the radio station, someone I had never hung out with before. We drove up, and he had no idea how to act, covering an event. I think he wore a Beavis and Butthead T-shirt or something.
Oh, so he had a press pass and he was.
Yeah, they were because they said.
Well, it is MMA.
Bring anybody else from the radio station that you want, and I was like, all right, cool. And I could only find.
Well, it is MMA. That's probably not unheard to see a Beavis and Butthead, guy asking a question, Mr. Fedor.
Right.
Mr. Fedor.
All right, so Alistair Overeem won, and then he couldn't continue, so they put Cormier in the Grand Prix instead.
Okay.
And Cormier ended up winning, but he didn't win 3 fights. He just won 2. It was a whole thing.
Good job, DC.
Anyway,
Good job, DC.
Newark, what's happening?
So we got 2 title fights at the top. It's going to be Merab versus Sean O'Malley. 2. This is going to be Merab versus Sugar Show 2. They last fought in...
Do we have a problem on YouTube? Did we get booted off YouTube?
I hope not. Uh-oh. Did
Brian,
we really?
Brian Powell thinks we're off of YouTube.
Oh, gosh. Well, I guess this is going to put a halt to fighting words once.
No, I don't know. Are we still on Facebook? Are we still on anywhere?
According to what I'm looking, at least looking at this screen, we should be.
This is awkward.
Oh wow! What the heck?
What
I guess
happened?
I
got
guess
booted?
we did. Yeah.
Dang it.
Well, that's not great.
I don't know why that would have happened. Let me try to get us back on.
All right. Well then.
Well,
I don't really.
Alex,
I don't want to do the show in 2 parts.
Basically, Sean O'Malley's going to win, and it's going to be lit.
I don't
and
think
you don't
Sean
want to miss
O'Malley.
it.
Sean O'Malley's
Sean O'Malley is going to win. He quit social media. He quit the Zaza. He's locked in, and
he stopped dyeing his hair. Yeah. He's
Merab is such a fraud. This bro's just a crotch sniffer, and O'Malley's going to kick his head to Mars, and it's going to be O'Malley on top.
That's not.
Again. I'm a big O'Malley guy, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I can tell.
Apparently, who?
Well, I mean, who isn't?
What are the odds?
-2. It's like -250, -280 or something for Merab, and then Sean O'Malley +200. Okay, so can I? Do you want me to try to get us back on YouTube?
No, I mean I don't.
We are still live on Facebook.
Okay, I don't want to do the show in 2 different parts. We got to figure out what happened with YouTube. But go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a. I mean, I guess you make this fight because it is, Sean O'Malley. People like Sean. People are polarized on Sean O'Malley, so he's obviously a big name. And that helps with Merab Dvalishvili because Merab has a very certain style of fighting where he is, he's very wrestle focused.
Unentertaining is how I would describe Merab when he fights.
Yes, but he's very good at what he does.
He is
yes,
good.
we are still up on Facebook.
Okay.
And Merab, so he wins a lot of decisions is the thing with Merab, and that's kind of what happened when Sean and when Sean and Merab fought. They fought in the Sphere last September, which it actually was a very good fight. And Sean still got a chance because he's got probably maybe the best knockout power at 135 right now. So there's always a chance that he could catch him, but it's hard to see why this would go different than it went 8 months ago in September when Merab was able to pretty much take down Sean whenever he wanted and likely will be able to grind his way to another decision. We just saw so Sean has not fought since September, and all we've heard from Sean is that he quit smoking weed and he stopped dyeing his hair, and it's like oh okay, yeah, I guess he's ready to be UFC champion again. Or Merab, who has since defended his belt against Umar Nurmagomedov, who obviously with the name Nurmagomedov generates some interest from people, and he made pretty dominant work of Umar in a 5-round decision as well. So it's hard for me to envision this going any different way. What are the odds for Merab by decision? Merab by decision is -160.
Okay.
So
right.
that's I mean, if you're gonna bet Sean, you might as well take him by knockout. I'm not sure. I don't see Sean winning a decision here. It's gonna be Merab taking him down whenever he wants to, and that's what Merab does. He just shoots takedowns relentlessly, over and over and over and over and over. And even if you stuff one, he's gonna immediately shoot again, and he is going to get you down. Again, still an entertaining fight. Like Sean O'Malley is gonna, he always puts on a show. He's very good on the mic. Like he's gonna sell the fight whenever the press conference is tonight. They've already had a few press conferences anyway. But yeah, and Merab's a pretty funny guy too. Even though he doesn't talk quite as much, maybe he'll come out wearing the since Sean stopped dyeing his hair, maybe he'll come out wearing the rainbow afro. That's what Merab will do.
Okay.
But anyway, it's an exciting fight. We got Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena for the women's bantamweight title. Is the co-main event, so 2 title fights. Pretty cool here. Juliana Pena will be technically defending her belts against Kayla Harrison. I say technically because she is the defending champ. She won the belt. She won her belt, so she got the win over Amanda Nunes a couple years back. In a shocking upset when she choked out Amanda Nunes, and then Nunes came back and won it back, and then Nunes retired, so that gave Pena a chance to fight for the interim belt. So now she is the not interim belt, the vacant belt. So she is the flat or the bantamweight champion right now. Juliana Pena is, and she is a pretty big underdog. Kayla Harrison is -800 against Juliana Pena.
Wow.
Yeah, which is
Kayla
crazy.
Harrison
and
won a gold medal, right? In
couple of
judo.
them.
Okay.
Yes, a couple of gold medals. But yes, in judo. So and so she debuted last year at UFC 300, and then she beat Holly Holm, and then she had another fight in the fall, and she won that one. So now they're giving her first UFC her first UFC title here. So the big question with Kayla was like, is she even going to be able to make it to 135? She's done that twice now. For the UFC, so
Okay.
I have no concern whatsoever over Kayla Harrison. It's just it's when does she want this fight to end?
All right.
She could go 5 rounds and probably just continue piecing up Pena. She can take her down when she wants to and hold her down for 25 minutes if she wanted. She's got the knockout power to put her down. But yeah, I mean it's Pena's she's a good opponent for this because people will have a lot of strong feelings about Pena as well because she talks a lot, which whether sometimes not the best trash talk, sometimes it is good trash talk. But she's pretty, she's good looking, and then she also runs her mouth a lot, so it forces people to have opinion about her. So I think it's going to be a compelling fight going in, but I don't really see how Kayla Harrison loses this. It's as the odds kind of indicate. I like Kayla Harrison to become UFC champion for the first time, and kind of hold that as long as she wants to. I mean, she's 34 now, so like we'll see how long she decides to go. But she is a year younger than Juliana Pena, so she's hopefully got a few more years in her. Patchy Mix makes his debut. It was a long time at the PF with Bellator. And so he'll be making his UFC debut and kind of in his prime. So this is like the first of those like kind of Bellator guys coming over in their prime now. So Patchy Mix will make his debut against Mario Bautista. That'll be a really good fight. The pay-per-view card's very good. The undercard's a little bit underwhelming. There's not a whole lot on there. Joshua Van is the featured prelim, so that's a free fight for you. He'll be fighting for the belt one day at 125. He's like -700 to beat Bruno Silva. So I like Joshua Van in his fights as well. But yeah, UFC 316 up in Newark should be a good one. Not like at least in terms of like the title fighters, not like anyone's from New York or New Jersey. Like last time they were in Newark, it was Aljo and Cejudo. And is Cejudo from New Jersey?
You're losing me.
Okay.
You're losing.
But that was a fun fight. Aljo was from Long Island, so that was a good one. But yeah, you got UFC. That's your UFC card this
very
weekend.
good.
Caleb Plant lost last week in boxing.
Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen.
No, it wasn't supposed to happen. That was the Jamal Charlo and Caleb Plant on the same card.
Because they were supposed to fight each other later.
So it's kind of like, why do we keep doing this? Ariel Helwani talked about it on his show. He was like, it's time to, if you got to fight in boxing, like this is boxing, it's killing itself. If you got to fight in boxing, just book it. What are we waiting for? If like Caleb Plant should have been fighting Jamal Charlo. Charlo did his part. He was the one I was worried about last week because he hadn't fought in 2 years. He knocked out whoever he was fighting. Cornflake Lamana. He knocked him out in the 5th round.
Yeah.
So Charlo did his part, but then Caleb Plant lost to Reese Endiz, so that just kind of ruined everything. So who knows?
Not
who knows
great. Did I see this week? Did I see that Lomachenko retired?
Did Lomachenko retire?
I mean, I never know what for retirement actually means anything in boxing, even when it happens. But I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Age 37, Vasily Lomachenko.
Retirement. That was apparently today.
Wow. Okay.
Today.
All right. That was a couple hours ago. Okay. Well, good for him, I guess. Congrats to Vasily Lomachenko.
Yeah.
Maybe not good for boxing because he's probably still had another couple fights in him.
Probably. It's a weird thing, right? Where like he's already past the so. That's a fight that we would have liked to have seen Tank Davis have over the years. But if it was going to happen at this point, it was going to be a 38, 39-year-old version of Lomachenko. And so this is there are so many problems in boxing, but this is among the problems in boxing, which is there are fights that people want to watch.
Yeah.
But you don't actually want to do them. You just want to watch guy punch guy and never actually do the fight that anybody would want to see. So that's
yeah.
sort of what it is.
Well, then, yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm gonna say good for Lomachenko. Like, he did have a good career. I'm sure he made
a hell of a career.
He was very
No doubt about it.
successful. He ends on a win. He beat George Kambosos last May. So good. Yeah, good for Lomachenko. But yeah, it does take one off the board there for Tank. I mean, who knows what's gonna? There's a top ranked card this weekend. This guy Keyshawn Davis is fighting down in Norfolk. Look at that. They're in front of people. Good for them. But he's undefeated, and I like him because he's at least trying to play the game the right way. Like, he's calling out everyone. He's like, I'll fight Devin Haney, I'll fight Teofimo Lopez. These guys are definitely big jumps, big jumps for him. But I mean, that's who he's got. He's calling out Tank, but he's like, Tank's not going to fight me though, because I know what Tank's doing. Tank is playing for a fight with Jake Paul. He'd rather fight Jake Paul than fight me. So I like this guy Keyshawn Davis. He's a big favorite. On the top ranked card, so who knows? Maybe that, but like that would probably be more of a name that would fit. Although Tank would probably prefer him have a loss before Tank faces him. This young guy Keyshawn Davis. But yeah, that is it for Fighting Words. Of course, Money in the Bank. Who's your pick?
You can find out by listening to Jobbing Out.
Who's fighting in Money in the Bank?
Don't worry about it.
CM Punk. No, CM
do
Punk.
that here.
Oh yeah, I'll take El Grande Americano.
Yeah,
so will I.
Lost. Yes, you're going with El Grande Americano as well.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna bet you that it's not gonna be El Grande.
So it's only gonna be Seth Freakin. It's gonna have to be Seth.
I mean, it seemed most likely that it was going to be Seth Rollins all along, but that doesn't mean that it has to be necessarily. It just seems like that's the most likely.
And then Cody and Jay will beat Logan and John Cena.
I hate that you're trying to get me to have this conversation.
We have to. It's a fight game. Big Saturday.
Like, in that way that it allows John Cena to lose a match and not lose the belt. Like, that's the reason why this match is happening. Then it seems to make the most sense. But if you do that, then you kind of have to have. I don't want Cody to be the one that beats John Cena. And if you have Cody and...
You want it to be Jay. You want it to be just Jay.
I would love for it to be Jay. But that also requires Jay having to drop his belt, which he might do on Monday when he faces Gunther.
Gunther.
And then,
rematch.
Yes. And then it could pave the road to ultimately it being Jay that beats John Cena. There's lots of things there. Tune in. We will do Jobbing Out either tonight or tomorrow.
Ooh. Guest appearance, let me know.
This is the one for you? All right, very good.
Oh, R-Truth? They cut R-Truth?
Yeah, that's the problem. We're not happy. We are.
Oh, so you're not even going to talk about Money in the Bank. You're just going to talk about R-Truth.
Yes.
He's going to come back, though, right?
I don't know. I wish I could tell you.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's a massive, massive F-up. All right, very good. That's Fighting Words. Now, let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you today by the Maryland 5-Star. Tickets are now on sale for the 2025 Mars Maryland 5-Star at Fair Hill, presented by Brown Advisory, returning October 16th through 19th up in Cecil County. The return of pony racing and the Maryland Corgi Cup, expanded local food festival and beer, wine, and spirit showcase, the debut of the Real Rider Cup, benefiting Thoroughbred Aftercare, plus VIP hospitality and tailgating options, new ticket packages that are available this year, as Maryland once again gears up to host the Triathlon of Equestrian Sports, the Mars Maryland 5-Star, October 16th through 19th. Go to Maryland 5-Star with a number 5, Maryland5star.us right now, and make your plans to get up and check it out in Fair Hill.
Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Okay.
You do the tidbit.
Yeah, Paul Maurice, the head coach of the almost said Carolina Panthers, the Florida Panthers. He was 31-0 in the playoffs as the lead man for the Panthers when they were leading after the first or second period in the playoffs. And they were leading after both, I believe. Yeah, they were leading after both last night. So they are now 31-1 after leading in the third or the first and the second period.
Well, how about that?
So first loss I guess the Panthers just never blow leads, and they did that. They had a 3-1 lead at one point last night, and Edmonton came back. So good for them. And then of course the NBA Finals getting underway tonight. So I think this one's a little bit of a tougher one, Glenn, but I think you can do it. What? Coaches to lead two different franchises to the NBA Finals. Yes, Rick Carlisle taking the Pacers, his second team to the NBA Finals. There are 4 other coaches that have taken 2 teams.
Well, obviously,
2 different teams.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson is on the list.
Pat Riley.
Pat Riley is on the list.
took 2 different teams.
The
Larry Brown.
Yes, Larry Brown. Look at that, you're knocking out those. So the last one. So I guess that last one is a little bit tougher then for you. He goes back to coached in the 70s. He won his first championship in 81.
So it's not Lenny Wilkins.
His first and only championship.
Won his first and only championship in 81.
Yes.
Now I gotta think about what year. Who was?
So he won his first and only championship in 81, and then he returned to the finals with a different team in 86.
Returned to the
and
finals
lost.
with different. Well, 81 had to be the Celtics, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't Red Auerbach.
No, it was not.
And it wasn't Casey. Bill Fitch?
Bill Fitch took the
Who did he take to the
in 1986. He took the Rockets to the finals.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they lost. Who the heck did they
right.
lose to? It's the Lakers. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't.
Wait, no.
I did not realize that Bill Fitch returned to the NBA Finals. I had no idea.
They lost
All
to
right.
the Celtics. That makes more sense.
All right. Well, how about that?
Yeah, there you go. Well, you got that one pretty quick. Well done.
Well, I wouldn't have gotten the fourth one if not for the setup. That would have not. The 3 I had immediately. I was trying to think if Chuck Daly had ever gotten. So who was the coach of the Magic then when they got to the finals and played the Rockets? Hang on a second. Magic Rockets NBA Finals.
When did the Magic come into the NBA?
Brian Hill had taken over by that point. Okay. All right. I thought that Chuck Daly, that was going to be my next guess, was that Chuck Daly, of course, who took the Pistons.
89. There we go.
He ended up being the coach of the Magic after that, and I would have assumed that he was the one that took them to the finals, so I would have been wrong. Oh, are we good? Can we do tubular?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay,
That was
all
it.
right,
That
very
was
good.
it. Well done.
Let's get tubular.
Okay, everybody, it's going to be quick today.
What was the main focus today, Coach?
Fundamentals, ball control. It's always huge.
Any early thoughts on the competition this year?
Well, look, this is the best of the best players in the world. It's going to be an amazing tournament.
Tournament?
Yeah, the BMW Championship at Caves Valley. What are you guys talking about? All they ever ask me about is football.
Matinee today for the Birds as they go for the sweep of the Mariners. 3:40 on Masson 2. Zach Eflin and Brian Woo.
Brian
Woo. You know it. Brian Woo on the mound. If you happen to live in the New York or Los Angeles markets, you can also watch it on MLB Network. Game 1 of the NBA Finals tonight, 8:30 on ABC for the Pacers and Thunder. The Women's College World Series final continues. Texas tries to clinch the title as they face Texas Tech at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Coco Gauff with a quick start in the second women's semifinal at the French Open, already up a couple of breaks in the first set on TNT and True TV. Baseball today, Cubs Nats, 6:45 on Masson, MLB Network, Diamondbacks Braves.
You're trying to say cage side, Alex?
What?
Oh yeah, I'm looking at the.
He's looking at the
ticket
UFC.
prices cage
He's
side of
looking-
this UFC
oh,
event.
he's looking
New
for,
Jersey's
like,
not
front
that
row.
far.
He's looking for front row.
He wants to be able to smell Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Like that's
Just
what he's
$4,000.
Nah, I'm actually looking for Kayla Harrison. I want to smell that.
Okay.
No, let's not be creepy. Diamondbacks Braves 12:15 on MLB Network. Mets Dodgers 4:10. Guardians Yankees 7:05. The free game on MLB TV is Astros Pirates at 6:40. Prime Video tonight for Mystics Liberty at 7:30. That's also on Monumental here locally, and then Mercury Valkyries at 10 o'clock. Ooh, I could watch the Mighty Merc. I might do that. FS1, UEFA Nations League, Spain, France at 3. Golf Channel for round 1 of the PGA Canadian Open at 3. And Access TV for TNA Impact at 8. Non-sports.
Can I get your baseball kind of your
Nope.
thoughts for? So I'm like way ahead in fantasy and ERA this week.
Yeah.
And Brandon Fott's about to start pitching for the D-backs in like 7 minutes here.
Uh-huh.
Should I just bench Fott in case like he gives up a couple runs here? Like I'm trying to protect
Are
my
you way
ERA.
ahead?
Yeah, I'm like my ERA is 1.2 for the
Wow.
week right now.
Wow.
And
They're
I've already
facing the Braves?
They're facing the Braves. So I was nervous last night with Merrill Kelly, but Merrill Kelly took a no-hitter into the 7th inning, so it worked out. He didn't allow any. He shut out the Braves for 7 innings.
When does the weekend?
Sunday.
So a lot of things could change.
A lot of things could change.
No, I wouldn't.
Well, the thing is, Fott also gave up. He didn't record an out on Saturday. Is that when he pitched? He didn't record it out and give up 8
I want to
runs.
watch tennis. Can we just wrap Tubular, please?
So should I bench fodder? Should I
Let me watch tennis, you a-hole.
Or should I trust that he'll bounce back?
All right, here's what's coming up non-sports wise tonight on what is Bob's Burgers? They're on.
Yeah, they're new
Why are they
episode,
on
new
a
episode.
Thursday?
They moved to Thursday night. I don't know why, but I guess because Fox needed something for Thursdays. I don't know.
Okay, watch Welcome to Wrexham. That's what I got.
New episode, yeah, it's a big one. New episodes of Welcome to Wrexham, Poker Face, and of course, it is the Phineas and Ferb revival tonight on Disney and Disney Plus. I think you got to wait until 8 o'clock. I might not have put that in there, but yeah, Phineas and Ferb's coming back. So we'll see how they do. I mean, there's no reason. I guess the animation looks a little bit better. So I guess maybe. Maybe it'll work.
I don't care. Move.
Tires season 2
right.
is out on Netflix
which
today.
Is fine. Which is a fine show. It's fun.
What do you mean fine? It's great.
It's not great, but it's very watchable. I enjoy Tires. It's not a great show, but
Nick Kroll and Sydney Sweeney will be on Fallon.
Plugging a spinoff of The League.
Sydney Sweeney was at the last Newark card in
How about that?
Yeah,
You
so
say
maybe,
so.
maybe she'll be at this one too.
Sure.
I don't know why. Cynthia Erivo and Tony Gilroy on Stephen Colbert.
Plugging Tires, yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Cynthia
they're excited
Erivo?
about the
Okay.
new season of Tires.
I think maybe it's different, but Cynthia Erivo is hosting the Tonys this weekend.
Seems unlikely.
And then Tony Gilroy, he wrote and directed Andor.
They actually named the Tonys after him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's why he's
correct.
there.
That's why they're
Cool.
called the Tonys. Yep.
Seth MacFarlane, Draymond Green, and Ty Dolla $ign on Kimmel.
Yes, they're plugging the world tour that Blues Traveler and the Goo Goo Dolls are doing this. Or I don't know.
They're doing a world tour?
The Blues Traveler and somebody. Oh, Gin Blossoms. That's who it is. They're plugging the Blues Traveler, Gin Blossoms. I saw an abomination of apparently they went on Kimmel the other night and they meshed together Run Around and Hey Jealousy, and it's no. Yeah, I hate the internet. I hate all young people. Like we can't. There's 2 bands, 2 classic songs. Just let them play them. Just let them play them. It's like, oh, how do we make it shorter? How do we do? It's like we can't have a halftime show anymore. We got to have a guy do 10 seconds of 75 songs. God, we are anyway. Go ahead. I want to watch tennis.
That's it.
Thank you. Thanks today to Enrique Bradfield. Thanks also to Jim Bowden. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the
Galveston
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Stan's back in studio with us tomorrow.
I think so. He said he's feeling better.
Okay.
I'll double check, but yeah, I think. But
Good
yes.
to see him.
Yes.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things. Bo Smokel will join us.
Okay, Pressbox Ravens beat writer. He'll be out. We'll talk more about Rashad Bateman, and he'll be out at what do they call the OTAs today as well?
Yeah, TNAs. Yeah,
TNAs. He'll be out at TNAs.
Maybe Joe Hendry comes in and beats him.
I believe in Rashad Bateman.
Sure.
Right.
I mean, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Who we really believe in is Joe Hendry.
Thanks to everybody at Pressbox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Game Day Men's Health, the Maryland 5-Star, Live Casino and Hotel, the BMW Championship, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 Golf Courses, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Costa Sin, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, BuyAToyota.com. Thanks to Jake at @AlexWilson_ is how you follow him on Instagram. Thanks to Griffin _Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, @GlennClarkRadio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.